Hello everybody and welcome to a list video here at Playing Board Games. I'm joined by Daniel, who's down over there, and today we're going to be talking about our Arkham 2026 resolutions. I've done this for a few years now, where it's been in various shapes. I did it with Travis and Bryn, I did it alone, and now I'm doing it with you. I'm pretty excited. I like to do this kind of just for fun. Like generally New Year's resolutions, I view them as just something that's fun. Like if you hit them, that's great. If you don't, that's okay. It's just like the setting goals for yourself. It's like making a to-do list for the next year. And I'm excited to bring you into this and see how you approach this idea of your Arkham resolutions. They can be big, they can be small. But first I want to ask before we get into this, did you have an easy time coming up with resolutions, or did you have to pull some out of the hat?
No, I had a pretty easy time because I've been thinking about this sort of stuff too. Recently, we recorded a video. I don't know if it's been released yet, just sort of looking back at some things that we've done recently. And it's the end of the year. Good time to have a little bit of retrospective of like what's working, what's not, and think about what you want to do going forward. So it was pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to cut one. I had one that was on my list, but I was like, we're only doing three this year. We're each doing three resolutions. So yeah, I think it's very fun to come up with personal goals and, like you said, kind of like look back and look forward to the future. So why don't we dive in with your first one here, which is actually a relatively simple one. So I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, play Trish. And this sounds like a cop out. Like, how hard could it be, Daniel, right? All you do is take the investigator card out of your binder and then build a deck. And I have not played this investigator. So recently I made a video list of just like, here are all of the investigators I've never played, which sounds, I'm sure, very alien to you, having played all the investigators before, and many of them, like, I'm sure 15 times. That I haven't gotten around to Trish. And part of it is because I think she's really, really good.
Yeah,
And
she's very good.
I've seen so many people play her. Like, occasionally I've been like, yeah, maybe I'll play Trish this campaign. And then someone else picks her. I'm like, well, not this time, Trish. So I don't know. Like, I haven't found any like cool ideas to play in a Trish deck, and I also just kind of am scared of the power, where I'm just gonna get a little bored of it after a little while. But very exciting. FFG must have known that I was on the fence about playing Trish, so they decided to release a new version of
Yeah.
Trish in the Core 2026 set.
I was gonna ask, which Trish are you gonna play? Is it gonna be both of them? Like, are they just both under this umbrella?
I don't know, right? Like, it's just her name. As long as the investigator card says Trish Scarborough or like Trish Mansfield or whatever, I don't. It doesn't matter, right? I just said Trish. I don't know. I mean, I probably will end up playing the new one before the old one, honestly. But yeah, I know this sounds really easy, but it's more of a window into like, how do I pick investigators to
Yeah.
play, and the reasons why. I mean, you can watch the video why I talked about all of those. But in for her, it was just kind of like, look, I know she's good, and I want to play something that is a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
That said, she is O5 Seeker, sorry, Rogue O2 Seeker,
Yeah.
so like you should be able to do anything in her that you want with those colors. But man, those colors are very dangerous and powerful. So
They are. Yeah, so Trish is one of my favorites because she is not because she's like very strong. I agree, she is very strong, but that's not one of the reasons I love her. But it's because every time I've built a Trish deck, it's functioned very well in a variety of archetypes. And I think that's what makes her so enjoyable to me. Like, I brought one, and this is just some food for thought. But it was a game day, and I was like, I need a dumb deck idea, and I wanted to try out Doppelganger in Trish, and I used Mortar and Pestles to help fuel it. And it's just like, it's still incredibly functional because those are spells that Trish can play, and she has Mortar and Pestle in her toolkit. And it didn't miss a beat. And it didn't miss a beat because the deck was like filled with broken cards or anything like that. But it's just because Trish is reliable, and she can, like, it's like what Travis always says, where if you have a good economy in terms of money and card draw, you can do anything. Like, as long as like your foundational like 8 economy cards are rock solid, you can do anything you want with your deck. And I think Trish is the epitome of that.
yeah, I feel like they always print new cards for Trish. And they don't do it on purpose, right? It's just that her ability and her deck building is so it's just there, right? Like most investigators, you need to do a little bit of thinking about how do I make this investigator ability work. The stat line sometimes you have to do something with, like, everything in Rogue is basically centered around enemies being around in some fashion and having agility that can do something. And maybe sometimes your book stat matters. And she's like, cool. I've nothing wasted in this card pool other than maybe the guns that only use combat. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's like hard to build a bad deck with her, right? Like,
Yes,
have
it
you ever
is.
seen a Trish deck do
No.
poorly? Like,
No, no. And that's like why I was I always felt like I was taking crazy pills when people were saying that O5 Seeker, O2 Rogue was the dangerous color combination, when I think the most dangerous color combination already existed, because Seeker is at its best at level 0 to 2, and like Rogue is at its best from level 2 to 5. So like she is just like literally the nightmare card pool.
yeah. I mean, like, again, you could play Black Fan, Red Clock in anyone, and it's really good. But now you have the reliability of the secret cards to find all that stuff,
Yep.
and the economy to, make all of that work too, like with the resource generation from Dr. Milan. And
Yep.
it's like, okay, I can like probably play through a scenario in my sleep with her, which is probably why I'm like, I want to try something else a little more
Yes.
unconventional. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play her, and it might just be the new version of her, which I don't know anything about her. I know the secret cards, and they seem
Yeah, so yeah, we don't know
good.
what she is at this point, but all signs are pointing to her being Rogue Seeker, because it just like crunches the numbers with everybody else. Dexter's back, he's probably going to be Rogue Mystic. Daniela, it'd be crazy for her to be anything but Guardian Survivor, right? I mean, we know what Daniela is by the time that this video comes out, but not when we're recording this. We're recording this on the day actually where we see her card back, so we'll know by the end of this.
And then go look. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, my advice for Trish is try the dumbest thing you can think of, and it'll probably still work, and you'll probably have a great time doing it. Because I think that Trish, even though I understand your why you haven't played her, I think she is a perfect investigator for all three archetypes of players, because she's very spiky, she's very fun with the rogue stuff for the Timmies, and I think she can do weird combo stuff that is just supported by the consistency of her two classes.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the dumb stuff you've already tried. Like,
I
you've
have.
certainly played Chemistry Set in Trish, right?
Yes, I've done Big Hand Trish, which I was like,
Yeah.
how is this going to work? And I was like, oh, it's incredible.
Well, I just find something else then.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's go to my first resolution here, which is explore all three card pools, current, legacy, and the new card pool format that is not official, but I'm making it official right here, Chapter 2. I know there could be limited on this, but I don't think limited is... I think it's less of a card pool and more of like a... I mean, it's a format. It is a format. I'm not going to like say it isn't that. But it's more of like a fun exercise than it is something that's worth exploring, right? Like,
It's not something we can talk about,
Yeah.
as a community, right? Because you pick 3 investigator sets, right?
Yeah.
And that could be any 3. So how can you talk about the game in the same way when you're not sharing exactly the same card pool?
100%, yeah. And I think that having different card pools to explore is going to be exciting for me as a player. I've been playing a lot of Arkham. I've been kind of at some point being like, I mean, you are very aware of this, where we're building our own like crazy challenges to try and figure out what the hell can we do to not just play Legacy again, right? Like, what can we do to make this just slightly more restrictive? Travis, Britt, and I have been doing that for a long time. I think the reason we haven't been playing Legacy is because it's been too easy. So we kind of like make like weird rules that we have to follow to have it happen. With that said, I think that now that there are different formats that are going to be official in 2026, it's going to be easier to kind of just do that. It's less like, what challenge are we going to do for this? But it's mostly just, we can default back to, let's play current, right? Like, if we want to play something super powerful, we can play Legacy. If we want to play something with current, we play current, which is like challenging, because as we just finished our current run through Scarlet Keys, it wasn't, we won, but it wasn't like a stomping, right? Like, we had scenarios where we struggled, we had situations that were like weighed down by the card pool. So that's kind of like, it's kind of like easy, medium, and hard, right? Like, Legacy is easy mode, current is normal, and chapter 2 is hard mode. And chapter 2 is actually the thing that I'm most excited about, which is just playing with the cards as we get them. Basically just like how I did when the game first came out, which maybe it's because I was younger and like, like more life ahead of me, but that was a good time to play Arkham. Like maybe it was just nostalgia, and when I try it out now I'll be like, what the hell? But I loved that time, and I'm very excited to do that. So that's something that I think that like for our runs, at least for Travis and Bryn and I think I'm going to talk them into doing chapter 2 for it, because I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting than just doing even current. Like we'll probably fall back to current. Like imagine the most of the Travis, Bryn and I will be current content. But this is also for people who are worried that I won't be playing Legacy. But I think that there's a lot of cool cards to explore in the pool, and I think there's a lot of cool stuff in the core set that is going to be more interesting to explore in Legacy while still trying to explore what they're capable of in current in Chapter 2 as well.
Yeah, so I think that Chapter 2 pretty much from the get-go is going to have the 5 starter decks as well. Is that more or less right?
My guess is that it's going to be, we're going to get like the investigator decks 1 month after the core set.
Okay, like pretty much coinciding then. So people who are playing Chapter 2, let's call it, are going to have a lot more than y'all did in just core plus starting to play Dungeon Legacy, right? Because there's a lot of cards when we added the first set of investigator starter decks, the Nathaniel Cho, Jacqueline Fine, etc. It's perfectly viable to just play core plus one set of investigator decks like that, and then maybe another expansion, and you feel it a little bit, but not that much, right? When we did the current run, we had that. We were playing maybe not like the best investigators for that pool because we wanted to try out a few janky things, but you notice that you can't do certain things as easily, but you also don't feel like the game is so hard that you're just like, what were they thinking designing these scenarios, right?
Yep.
So I think it'll be just fine. I think it'll be fine to play that way, and it'll be fun. I think there's a lot of cards that you'll be able to make some interesting decisions, and not just I have to play these cards because these are the cards that are available.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, I think like the big thing, like, because you're right, there's no thing where it's like this is impossible. But how you look at it is the amount of resources you need to expend, right? And in Legacy, you're just expending less resources than you are in the other formats. And that's what kind of makes it fun, because you have to make more decisions of when are these resources worth spending versus when are they worth like hoarding to save for future challenges down the road. And I think that's a lot more of a nuanced way to look at it than just like, oh, I have less decisions to make when I'm building my deck, right?
Right, that's a good point. The gameplay becomes a little more interesting. And I will also say, maybe a little pointed remark at some members of the community, that I think we've gotten used to Legacy, and the game, you get used to the options that you have and building decks that way, that when you start taking away all of that and play Arkham, I don't want to say as it's meant to be played because that's a little bit too much, but if they have indeed design the newest campaigns around this current idea about here are the cards that you probably have, then you're probably matching more of the difficulty level that the designers are hoping for.
Yep.
So, if you're used to it being a certain way and now it's changed, it's hard to make that change. But I bet you that a lot of people who even played back in the day, yes, you may remember what it was like back then, but also there's been a lot of years since the card pool has been so big that you could just do anything. Like you've been saying how large the card pool has been for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
And now the card pool is probably almost doubled in size. Yeah. So, I don't know. Let's take away the safety blanket. See what happens. Yeah, and
it's one of those things. Yeah, if I swear to God, when like Children of Blood comes out and someone's like, "This is too easy. I'm playing full Legacy with the entire card pool," I'll be like, "Well, you're just like shooting yourself in the foot at this point." Like that basically the designer said, "Yeah, it's gonna be too easy because you can do freaking anything with the Legacy card pool," and I think that's good. I think players should be able to have fun with Legacy, but I also think at this point now it's not realistic to have that be the default difficulty, like for what they should be aiming for.
I mean, you also can play on hard, right? If you found it too easy
Yep, that's
in
probably
Legacy.
yeah. I imagine that's what Travis, Brent, and I are gonna do when we play Legacy. We'll bump it up to hard. Yeah, even though we like, I mean, that's what we've been doing. Like that's like everyone is like, why do you only play on standard? Well, it's because it's fun, and we like our difficulty in making it harder to have options as opposed to just making the tokens more bad. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about your resolutions from last year. One of the things you said was you didn't want to play as many challenge runs, and especially with two-handed solo. I think it was more about that than it was about the challenge runs themselves. So where do you see yourself in? I mean, how you've done on that, and like in the future, given that a lot of the challenge runs were indeed about deck building restrictions in some interesting or fun way.
Yeah, so I think that was I think that 2025 was a much better year for challenge runs, because I think the only challenge runs I did with you or Travis and Bryn, and our challenge runs with Travis and Bryn were just limited card pool, and ours between us they weren't necessarily like limited. They were more like, here's a fun stipulation to build around. So like it wasn't the same as like when I did the gauntlet last year where I did like the nearest neighbor. I feel like I made a lot of mistakes in like also like removing the core. I think in 2-player, the core is such a glue piece that you kind of want to have it together. But overall, I think it was really good. And I think that there's probably going to be a similar amount next year. Especially if I'm playing any legacy formats. But overall, I think 2025 was much more successful on the challenge run type thing. And I think I'm just going to have it kind of aim to be the same sort of thing in 2026.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think some of your challenges before seemed like they were punishment.
They were insane. They were insane. They were, yeah.
And I like a challenge, like, but some of them, like we do this for fun, right? And it should be more fun for viewers when we're having a good time doing something kind of wild. At this point, I think our initials challenge on my channel has been going on, and I've found it to be pretty fun. But it's just interesting also because you're exploring the card pool in Legacy in a different way, and it's less of I mean, it's a challenge because anything that is not just the standard gameplay rules and deck building rules is challenge. But it allows us to think about things that we might not otherwise do. And I find that to be incredibly enjoyable. I've had a great time playing with you this past year when we've done Sealed. We did some kind of themed runs with Curse and Bless, and then also a using one collection kind of challenge. So they're not quite as like crazy.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, but they're fun. I mean, I would enjoy continuing to do that sort of thing. With Legacy also. The only other time that I play Legacy on my channel right now is when I'm doing true solo runs because I think you need it.
Makes sense.
And yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Nice. All right, let's go to your second resolution here, which is
build more interesting decks. Okay, this also needs some good context here because I think a lot of times that I play with you, there's something interesting going on in my deck, but when I'm playing with other people, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And so, yeah, like I try to show off the kinds of playstyles that I enjoy the most when I'm doing recordings because then other people can see that and learn or enjoy or whatever. But sometimes when I'm playing with other people who are a bit more casual, I feel a bit more pressure to not do something stupid. Because it's not just like a pride thing, but I feel like it's going to be, people are going to have a bad time if we don't do reasonably well. And that might just be a me problem, and I understand that.
No, I'm the same.
But I usually let other people build decks first, and then I fill in the gaps myself, just to make sure I'm like, okay, we might really need to win this campaign. So I don't like put the most broken crap in there, but I do try to make a fairly standard deck that I know can do well. And it's not that I don't enjoy winning the game, because actually I think this past year I've much more enjoyed thinking about scenarios and campaigns than I have about deck building. So I want the pendulum to go the other way. I want to think more about and enjoy deck building. And part of that's like, I think I've played a lot more custom campaigns this year. And when I know nothing about the campaign, I can't use that scenario knowledge to make more optimal decisions in gameplay. So like I'm playing Call of the Playbearer right now for the first time, and I'm playing the most boring Leo Anderson deck that you've ever seen. Like I wish Down the Rabbit Hole was in this deck because it's literally just upgrade all the level
Yeah.
0 cards.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not gonna say it's like bad, but my attention is now spent thinking about the encounter deck, about the enemies, and keeping track of all those sorts of things. And sometimes you just need a deck that does the thing without you thinking at all. But God, when I sit back and look at the upgrades, I'm like, well, I guess I just do this, and it's just boring as
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like excitement. It's just like, yeah.
No, not even drawing cards. I'm not excited to see anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good sign if you're enjoying your deck is if you draw a card and you can if you're not saying like, "Oh yeah," then you're like, "Oh, maybe this isn't really resonating with me as a deck here." Yeah.
And I feel like I've played this deck before, so but I just needed to make sure that we are doing okay. And it's, again, for a blind play, it's been going well. But with the same person, mind you, the very previous campaign that we played was Innsmouth, which I know a lot, very well, and I played this really fun, janky Marion Kluver deck, and I had such a great time. So I don't know. This is just part of playing, I think, new campaigns that you don't know, and on the blind run or on a run where you really feel like you need to win, you just have to go with the old reliable stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that as much next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that especially because are you playing Bear two-handed? Like no, sorry, two-player.
Two player.
Yeah, that's the thing that's is tough too because when I'm doing a blind play for a custom campaign, I tend to just default to like a Zoe style or like a Harvey or an Ursula style for my Kluver, right? Because in two-player you kind of just have to get it done, and I think that unfortunately recent custom campaigns haven't been as well balanced as some of the previous ones. I think Plague Bearer is actually very well balanced in terms of its all of its treacheries and enemies and stuff. But it's a much older custom campaign, right?
It is.
And I feel like in three-player, I could play anything. I'll bring anything to a blind run of anything because
Yes.
you have like that freedom, and I think that the two-player really adds a lot of baggage to that. And I think it's unfortunate, and I think that also, like, this is my plea to custom campaign designers. Don't design with legacy in mind. Playtest with smaller card pools. Playtest your campaign with Amina Zidane, because people are going to want to play Amina Zidane in your campaign, and if that's impossible, then that's bad. Like, that's not the way you want your campaign to be, right? Like you want it to be like the reason why people love Dark Matter is because it's thematic, it's flavorful, but it's also viable for every investigator. Yeah, it's on the easy side, right? But it's the part of the reason why it's so well loved because there's space for players to appreciate that all the awesome stuff that Axolotl did with it on like the design side.
Yeah, that's true. I also feel like, just to add to this, even when I went to Arkham Con this year, I brought some really boring decks, and I feel kind of bad about that afterwards because they were just, I don't know, like there was a Nathaniel Cho deck that just was a Nathaniel Cho deck, but I had a lot more fun at that. I mean, the Iron Man one was cool. I like that. But for all the standalones, they were just boring decks, and it was just like, part of it was a bit of a strategy that you have to make sure that you bring something that will work with people you don't even know. What they're bringing, what they're playing, but also you don't have to think too much about what's in the deck because you're playing 5 different investigators. And I really enjoyed playing scenarios. Like I said earlier, this year I've spent much more time thinking about what's the design of this campaign or scenario like, and just enjoying playing the scenarios for themselves regardless of what I'm doing on my end. And that worked. But on the retrospective on that, I was like, I mean, I could have tried something fun to see what would happen, but I didn't feel like I was there to impress anyone with my deck building, which, felt a little strange. So I want to get back into building something cool for next year.
Heck yeah. That's a good resolution. All right. We each have one meta on our list, one meta resolution. So this one's my meta resolution here, which is bring one of the big projects in my head to life for the channel. I have a bunch of ideas for videos and series that have kind of just been brewing for a while, and they're very big in scope. So this is something that, if you didn't know, viewers at home, I release an Arkham video every day of the week, which is a lot of content, but this is my own choice for how I prefer to run things based on inspiration from other content creators in the past. It might not be for everybody. Like, people might not like getting videos every day, but some people do, and I like the output of just there being something every day. The downside to this is that big projects that require time and editing take a lot of space in there. Last year, I think I had a resolution. I don't know if I said it, but it was my own personal one. I wanted to break 2 million views in 2025.
Yeah, you did say that. Mm-hmm.
And we were trending towards it. But then YouTube had a great view reckoning in the summer, and we are not going to hit it. That's just the reality of the situation. But as part of that, I made more small. I cut down one of the gameplay videos each week and went to 5 talkie videos and only 2 gameplay videos. And it burnt me out more than I anticipated. It was really good at the start. And then I got to like May, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do to come up with all these video ideas? Astute viewers might notice that it's back to 3 gameplay videos a week and 4 talkie videos, just because why change what was perfect in the get-go? But this is where it all comes down to the fact that like these big videos are tough because of this, because I'm already working on so many. This is why our theme weeks are very fun and exciting, because they also have big videos. Like, there was the history of the Pats Carcosa video, which took me, it was a 25-minute long edited video with like a script and like recording and all that. And everyone's saying, oh, we want more of that on the channel. And I would want more of it too, but it takes a lot of time. That video took me a week just for that one video, right? And I still had to do the other 6 other videos for Carcosa week, right? But I have so many big ideas that I do want to do that are long form edited. I have one in specific that I can kind of tease it here because maybe it'll help bring it into reality if people remind me. But it's called Arkham Survivor, where I want to get like 5 teams of players and content creators to compete over 5 weeks, where players get eliminated to crown an Arkham champion. And that is something that I really want to do in 2026. I want to make that big project come to life. Because I think
you can just give me the crown right now, Justin. Yeah. We don't need to make the videos. Yeah. We're done.
Yeah. I mean, no, you didn't get gold at the depths of Yoth, but I know you take a challenge very seriously because you got like the my pick for favorite decks for that one.
Thank you.
But that's something that I really want to do, because I think that would be a really fun thing to actually bring on the channel. I think there's a few there's a few realities that need to come in with this. Is that one, the Arkham community is small on YouTube, right? Like it is tiny, and the people who are consuming these videos are not big enough for me to, like, for example, hire an editor, right? To make that possible. I also don't make enough money for that to be a thing, so it's a little bit like slower. So there might be some like priorities change to make this resolution happen. Like maybe for a period of a month, I might test out not running a video 1 day a week, right? Like I might like cut a video to see how it feels if I am able to make this work. Or I'll just do what I always do, which is just nose to the grindstone and try to get things done, and then assess afterwards if it was worth the energy and potential burnout or not. But that is my own thing to do. But I want to bring at least one of these big projects to the channel in 2026.
Did you have any burnout this year?
Yeah. Well, I did it when I was doing the too many talkie videos in the week. That got me. But I think that was also, I think it was a good shift, because that was also like the year started so good for like views. As it usually does, because during Christmas we release our tier lists, and those always get like YouTube's like, hey, yeah, people love this shit, so we're gonna keep that going into January. And this time it kept going into like April and like May. And then when the view apocalypse happened, I started to be like, it was like that mental strain with also making all the talkie videos, and I was like, okay, I need to change that.
Yeah. This is a good resolution because I think everyone enjoys that big, cool concept, right? It's just hard to pull up, and I can speak to that too as another content creator. I'll get more into this, I think, in mine in a second, but I've got a lot of like big ideas too of like things I've been trying to work on for a while. And then, some of it's like the spoiler season has intervened and said like this content is worth talking about now.
Yeah.
And things that you might have had on the back burner, it's not that people aren't interested in them, but if you only have so many days of the week that you want to release content, so much time to make content, that the stuff that's current and that people really want you to know about, and actually I want to talk about too, because it's like this is on my mind, that gets some more priority. So the bigger things that might be cooler in the long run, they just don't get made.
Yeah, and also just sometimes, like I know people like love when I did the deck list videos where I had like all the slides for it, and I haven't made one of those since like I think early 2025, and it's just like one of those things. Yeah, it's just like it becomes hard to sometimes squeeze those in, or like find the time to edit it. And we were just talking before this how even though there's so many videos that are kind of just being made for us right now, it's still it's hard to find time to like make them all, right? Like, and it's like even make ones that aren't related to that.
Yeah, and the content that you make, especially the bigger projects, end up being really good. And as you said, if you're trying to release something every day, that's a very easy case of burnout. We even have sometimes a difficult time figuring out what we're going to talk about ourselves. I don't know how many videos I've been on with you the past year, a lot. But sometimes we're like, what's a cool topic? And then we have some topics that we've talked about that we'll do at some point. We still haven't gotten around to them. They're just like sitting on the back burner themselves. So it's always this balance of like, what kind of effort and time and like when is it going to get released? So.
Yeah, and this is actually something that I don't want to jump on your next point too much, but I think it's going to be very related. This is kind of like when we started those, the idea of the quick conversations, right? Where it's like we talk about Arkham for 10 minutes and we only have 10 minutes to talk about a topic. Because then the idea was, we could record like 4 of these in one day and have like a month of video, like a videos just kind of sorted, like for like a one day of the week. But the problem is that unlike us, people don't know every card off the top of their head. So they're like, can you edit these cards into this? And then suddenly those 10-minute videos add another 40 minutes of editing, which doesn't sound like a lot, reasonably. But now it's just easier for me to record a 20 to 30-minute Arkham build video where I have Arkham build on the screen so I can scroll through the cards. And it's one of those things where those ideas for the snappy videos, unfortunately, are less snappy. So I totally understand and respect the people who say you should show the card you're talking about on the screen. But I want to meet you in the middle and be like, you as a player should take time also to go through your binder to look at your cards, but also understand that content. I mean, I imagine you do this as well. I don't want to, you can confirm or deny this, but I have like levels of where I aim my content to go for a viewer. Where it's like, this is for the beginners, so I'm going to say and read every card. This is for the intermediates, I'm going to talk about the weird cards. This is for the experts, I'm not going to talk about the cards at all. I'm just going to refer to them by name. And we have to do that. So just one of the times, just like keep in mind when you're watching, realistically, this video might not be aimed at you. It might be aimed at someone else or you 6 months from now.
Yeah, the gameplay videos, I even get comments still that are like, can you please... And this is all, I don't do any paper recording. Can you leave the cards on screen for longer? I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, so like, sorry, but no. Like, I understand, and I think it's a fair comment, but it's not, like, this is, you have to understand that there is, like, back-end decisions that are being made for that. It's just, it'd be too hard to do that.
Yeah, and I get it, but, like, I leave them on screen for a reasonable amount of time. I'm making that decision. I'm not thinking about viewers who need to read every line of text.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to leave it up there for 30 seconds and then move on to the next card. That it's just, it can't go that slow.
Yep.
But you know what can help? And it's called the pause button.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, just press that pause button. Just tap your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever like people say that, I'm like, literally, there is a way for you to read all the text on the cards. Just hit the pause button.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people say things like, I listen to this video as a podcast, like the gameplay videos, as a podcast as I'm driving to work or something. Can you please read out all of the text or something? I'm like,
no, sorry.
No.
I'm sorry, I can't. I would go crazy.
Yeah. Like, that's just not what this content is. And yes, I wish that everything was 100% accessible to every type of viewer. As you said before, you don't make enough money to hire editors. I don't do this for a full-time job either. Yeah. So that's what we got.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been like different where I'm like, I mean, maybe not different, but like maybe I'm old school at this point now with how things are. But if I don't know something, I Google it. Like I look it up. Like if I didn't know a card, I would have Arkham Build open and like search that name as best as I could. And I understand you can't do that while you're driving. But again, content creation is hard as it is. And we're balancing more decisions than you imagine we are on the back end. So it's one of those things that, I mean, we're doing it for you, but we're not doing everything for you, is really what it comes down to.
Well, I'm not doing everything for everyone. I think that's maybe another way to put it. But again, it's not that I don't think about these things. It's just that I can only do so much, and to keep, because someone might say, now this video is too long. Well, now I've upset someone else. So there's different, as you said, some videos are going to be more geared towards that, and some videos are going to be geared more towards beginners, and then we do those things. So it just has to be that way, I think, and it makes it tough. But
I think what should be fun, I haven't done a meta video for a while. You and I should do a video on my channel where we talk about what goes into making a video, from like idea to release. I think that could be fun for people, because people liked my scheduling video more than I anticipated. So
I know maybe, it was fun.
Yeah. All right.
My stuff is going to be different than yours, so it'd be fun to compare.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's go to your number one, which is your meta one here, which is...
Cool, we'll just keep talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, not really. So a week or two ago, or whenever this video is coming out, when the Fedora...
your hat slot video
was spoiled, I decided, it was a few days afterwards, I needed something to release. And I thought, okay, this is just an interesting topic. Just why does this new slot exist? Whatever it's called, headwear, head slot, hat slot, I don't know what it is yet. And I came up with a very short concept of talking about slots, pulling in some things from the rules, and just talking about this compared to other similar cards from the past. And I recorded this video, and it was 6 minutes, and I was like, that's it? And I thought to myself, oh, well, I don't have anything more to say about this, so yeah, that is it. And I thought about the name of my channel, which is Quick Learner, and I really haven't done the quick thing very much recently. So I think I want to keep making videos that are like this, that are shorter, snappier, and they don't necessarily have to be super edited. It did take a little bit of thinking beforehand to make a few slides, but not a lot. But just talking about a very small thing and not letting it go beyond that, not letting it become much more comprehensive. In the past, when I've done rules videos, I try to include every damn thing under the sun just because someone's going to ask a question. But I realized that I can kind of contain the topic more and not have that be an issue. I mean, there's also older videos that I can go back to and just pull out, instead of everything you need to know about skill test timing. Let's just talk about one thing that you might not know from the rules, and leave it at that. Make a new video next week that's just slightly different, or pulls on the topic in a different thread. It's not that I think smaller, shorter videos are like inherently better, but it did get like a good number of views, and and most importantly, it made me feel better about the video when it was just like, that's it.
I think that's a great resolution on on the meta side, and also I think also on the YouTube side, because I think YouTube, there was a time when it was rewarding longer videos, and I think now they're rewarding shorter videos. So it also might make the algorithm happy, that damn robot that decides everything on YouTube. But I like that. I think that's a great resolution. It reminds me of a format I love doing that I haven't done in a while, where it's kind of the same idea, where I have a script. It's actually a scripted video with slideshows. So I do my editing in OBS with the slides. Right. And I should try that out again, because I think that you're right. Maybe it's the year of shorter, and I can make like just a 10-minute topic that I can just like write a little script for. And
are you stealing my resolution, Justin?
I am. Yeah, this is my resolution now. So let me just go back to this one and just Justin one. Yeah, you can take my number one. You're gonna hate me for it.
Okay.
But no, I think that's really good, and I love that hat video. And I like what it was saying too, where, I mean, I love the Reddit thread too, where people were like, I don't think it should have existed for this thing. But you're like, no, but I'm saying not why it existed, but like what it does, what it changes, like what happens here. Yeah. I think it's really, do you think, yeah, so do you think they're going to use that for masks going forward?
I mean, I don't know. If they make more masks, they could, but
yeah, my hunch is that, yeah, it was designed specifically for that kind of stuff, which I think is,
that was my idea, yeah.
Yeah, your theory is very sound. All right, should we go to my number one? Because we kind of talked about the meta stuff a lot.
Yeah.
All right, my number one, get ready for it, everybody. I think I want to play every investigator again in this year. That's what's so funny when I saw your play Trish. I was like, yeah. It's not here to one-up you. It's not here to be like, yeah, I also want to play Trish, but I want to play all the others. So of all the challenges I've done, like the play all cards when I did that in 2023 was psychopathic. And it honestly felt really good to finish it. Like that was a very fun exercise. And I do point to it as my, the big shift, the big turning point for how I analyzed Arkham. Like I think it was a very important for my knowledge growth as a player for the game. And I would never do it again, but I don't think it was a bad idea to do, right? However, my challenge where I tried to play every investigator was actually a really fun challenge to go for. And it made it so that the year felt very diverse because I wasn't falling back to old favorites. If you don't know, my goal was to play every investigator in a campaign, so standalones don't count. But it was this was 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was the year, but it was because I did the play every investigator, and then I was like, now I want to do every card, because that was like, to me, like the natural growth for that. Mm-hmm. But it was a very fun year to just try every investigator. I got to like do different decks. I got to just play a lot of like fun Arkham, and it wasn't stressful. Like the hardest part was when I got to the last two and I had Marie and Stella left. And I was like, I didn't really want to play Marie, but I did, and it was enjoyable. But it also gives me some good knowledge for kind of like for these investigators. I probably won't include the parallels. I don't think they are real. I wouldn't include Susie, but I would include like every core investigator, like every like actual like main expansion investigator. I think would be a very fun thing to do.
Aren't there like 40 more investigators than when you did this before?
Not 40. It was when 2022, so there was what, 15? There's like 20 more.
So, we're getting 10 next year, right?
Oh, they probably won't count. It's always at the start of the year. Yeah, it's always at the start of the year. Yeah.
Less crazy then.
Yeah, it's when it starts. Like it's like what's available at the start of the year. Because I make the image at the start, and then I say if anything else happens, like there's no way. That's like when I talked about like the play every card. I was like, the new expansion's not going to count. Hank's Wild Ride.
Wild Ride. Yeah. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to play a campaign together right at the beginning, and you're like, I'm playing Trish, and I'd be like, foiled again.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my chance. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was really entertaining when you did this before, so I'm all for it. I do think it's I mean, yeah, so the bookends here is very funny. Like, I just don't play as much Arkham as you do.
I mean, I do play a lot, and but the nice thing about it is that there's a lot of cheat sheets for this thing that's kind of like unrelated to the play all cards. Well, the play all cards is a lot less, but like you play Dream Eaters and you get 4 of them out. I can play an investigator through Children of Blood And that's only 3 scenarios as far as we can tell at this point, and that's also going to count for a full campaign. Yeah.
The new core itself.
Yeah, new core. Yeah, maybe run a Knight of the Zealot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe play four-handed once just to knock a bunch off the list through Knight of the Zealot.
This is the real reason Justin's not playing True Solo.
Yes, yeah. Because I'm doing this, yeah. But yeah.
All right. Again, this will be fun. I'm looking forward to tracking this with you and helping you. Although, again, if you're not playing two-handed or four-handed, you're not going to get through this list as much. So maybe we won't be playing as much next year, Justin.
No, I think the thing is we'll have to play more. I'll be like, sorry, we're gonna. I'll be like, here's another Iron Man. Like,
True.
Iron Man, okay. Iron Man, Iron Man. You're like, stop doing Iron Mans. It's like, no, you must understand. I have to get through everybody. Yeah. A fun thing that's also really exciting about this thing that happened from 2022 was trying to determine the order that I played investigators. Being like, do I knock out a good one right now or do I wait down the road? So like, yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun little
Who's
adventure.
Your first investigator going to be then? Have you thought about this?
I think it's technically going to be Norman Withers because I'm already like halfway through a campaign with Eric, and that's going to go into 2026. So I think it will be Norman Withers.
Does Tommy count too then?
If we're still recording in 2026, yes, it will. It will.
Okay, I'm going to put it off to make sure you get that Tommy in then.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to start about 5 more campaigns right now, and then we'll leave scenario 8 until
That's actually a great idea. Yeah, just squeeze a few in. Yeah, yeah. I guess also then that'll work. No, I'm doing parallel Jim. I mean, I'm saying right now I'm not going to do the parallels, but like maybe I'll include like them as the one of them. So like a parallel Roland counts as Roland, right?
Lola,
yeah, parallel Lola. I'll be playing her in Dark Matter pretty soon on the channel. So, yeah, but yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I'm excited about this one. I would never do like it was between this or play every current card. Those were like the two, and I think the current one would honestly be easy compared to the one I did before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the video is already out by now on the channel, but I'm currently doing for our 300th list video the top 300 cards. So I'm a psychopath for content sometimes.
You really are.
Yeah.
This man, I mean, you talked about it earlier about releasing Arkham content every single day, but it's not like PBD doesn't have other videos that are on.
No, yeah. We also release 5 days a week. We have a video in the afternoon as well. Yeah, there's.
Yeah. Plus your streams, right? So like, you're a busy boy.
Yep. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. What are your Arkham resolutions? And additionally for that, look forward to us at the end of 2026 talking about our resolutions, looking back at them, and see if we hit them or not. Again, as I said at the start of this video, it's not important to get every resolution 100% perfect, but rather that you tried and that you learned something in the process. That's what it's all about. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm basically just laying the foundation to not play every investigator. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.